I've seen a penis so large, I've forgotten who and where I am.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Are they in the proper approach pattern for today?
Negative.
Hold the weapon! Now! Charge the lightning field.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our
159th.
episode spectacular.
Woo! We did it, folks!
We've made it. We have seen the mountain. We are here.
It's kind of like climbing up that mountain in Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. It's like you're the Sisyphusian podcaster's dilemma.
Horrors and struggle the entire way.
But it's the struggle that defines the journey.
Indeed.
And then also maybe you'll get an owl out of it.
So, I am your Let Us Pray traveler, Jake, and this is the Traveler Val Kilmer guy.
Oh, I was going to say Star Trek The Next Generation, the Traveler.
Oh, the Traveler has come.
Yes, I combine warp theory, thought, magic, whatever you have lying around. I'll turn it into some sort of like pseudo-Eastern philosophy.
Are you a god?
I'm just one lonely man with forehead prosthetics who understands warp bubble theory.
You know what? This goes right in to something I wanted to get into.
Sure, yeah.
What I'm going to call the dirty dangles.
Wow.
These are the dangling plot threads and questions I have for Star Trek, probably mostly highlighting just Next Gen right now.
Okay.
Things I am intrigued about and I'd like to ask you about, because
Sure.
every single time that my wife and I are watching Star Trek of any kind, something comes up and she'll look at me and is like, wait, what is this? What is this about? And I'll try to do like this half-assed explanation. But usually I'm floundering, and I always say, I'll ask Skip next time I talk to him.
Sure.
Okay, so first off, I want you to explain, if you can, what's the deal with Tasha Yar? And why did she leave the first season?
So she didn't feel like her character was given any substance or like it was developed well enough. She said that she felt like she was just a prop on the set. She just felt like not even a character. And then decided to pursue other things. I do believe that's probably true that she believed that, but I think the problem was the same thing with the other dude from Chips or the other dude from Miami Vice, where it was like they thought they were hotter shit than they were.
Right.
And we're like, no, I'm going to go do my thing. And then, I mean, thankfully she didn't do the classic mistake of putting out an album. You know what I mean? She felt undersung and underserved. But I'm like, okay, go back and watch those episodes. You told me LeVar Burton and Michael Dorn didn't have the same treatment?
In the episode I remember, Geordi is given control of the Enterprise because everybody else of significance is off the ship. And the chief engineer was like, hey, I outrank you. Why are you in control?
Oh, yeah.
I should be in control of the ship. And Geordi has to be like, no, it's me. And then Troy has to walk him through, hold his hand, and be like, oh, you want to like be inclusive, but also like take their thoughts into, blah, blah, blah. And that guy, like, he's specifically like discussed as like the chief engineer, but he isn't seen again in the rest of the season. And then the beginning of the second season, he's gone.
Yeah, 100%.
Just off the ship, and Geordi is put in charge.
Right. Which
that's one of the
makes a
things
lot of
about,
sense.
like, when you go back and rewatch that first season, why is Geordi doing the same job that fucking Wesley will do after that? Fucking nobody podunk piece of shit.
Well, the idea initially for Geordi was that it was ironic to have a blind man be the navigator. Which, okay, I get it, but I don't know if that's is sustainable for 7 seasons, which they proved isn't very quickly.
Correct. Yeah.
And they have the same problem in the first season. They have the very same problems that they had in the original series, where it's like, okay, so you have Sulu is the navigator. Okay, he sits in one chair. Get it. Then you have somebody else sit on the other side, and they are question mark?
Right.
And you never know exactly who they were, and it depends on who's writing the episode and like what random character actor is sitting in that seat. But at least later on in TNG, when they finally like solidify things more rigidly, you're like, okay, one is ops, which is finally a thing, and then the other one is navigation, and so they have a rotating pilots. But like if you watch the first season, it's like Colmini as Miles O'Brien is sitting in ops at some points.
Is he in the first season? I don't remember seeing him there.
He's in episode 1, baby.
Is he? Oh man. Okay. Totally.
He's there the whole time.
Interesting. He doesn't
Which
pop
is really
up much in first season.
No, he doesn't. And he's an encounter at Farpoint, but then he gets stuck in the transporter room. He becomes the transporter chief after season 1.
After season 1, like in season 2, like that's where he's stationed.
There is a funny online webcomic strip series about the day in the life of Miles O'Brien, Transporter Chief O'Brien, and it's just him like sitting and staring for like panels upon panels upon panels, and then like pushing a button, and then somebody beams out, and then him just staring again and again and again. And you're like, yeah, of course. What else are you doing? You're standing at that fucking console, hoping somebody beams in and out. Is that all you do all day? That seems a sad, lonely existence. It's kind of like
I mean, he's doing nothing, and then he has to make sure someone gets to and fro without all of the transporter accidents that are always happening. That's a life and death. Like
it is.
He
it's
doesn't
true.
press those buttons right.
It's a little bit like my job, not life and death, but it's like there's a lot of sitting around and not doing anything until the show starts, and then you better fucking be on it all of the sudden.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you're really in trouble.
All right, number 2. Was it a similar situation with Beverly Crusher? Because at the beginning of second season, they put in Pulaski, who, I mean, I don't know if... I mean, obviously she was written to be a piece of shit, and you're supposed to hate.
Well, yeah, that was always my interpretation, too. I have heard other people make arguments that she's just supposed to be... That it's kind of a misogynistic view of her, because all they're doing is giving her the, Leonard McCoy, the Bones treatment. But when it's a woman, it comes off as horrible. My argument was different than that. I specifically thought of the incident where she's examining Data, and she calls him Data.
Yes.
And she's like, well, what's the difference? And he's like, well, one's my name.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't seem to understand.
She is awful to Data. She's like, that thing over there, this souped up calculator. She is like the most racist to Data. She is hostile to everybody she encounters. She's like not doing her job very well in general.
She condescends to Geordi about not cloning his eyes, and he's like, well, I don't want that. And she's like, why? He's like, because I don't want that. And she doesn't seem to understand, and she's like, okay, I guess.
She's so shitty. And it's because she's a woman. Because you know who didn't think? My feminist wife. When she said, Pulaski's a piece of shit.
She sucks. But even though I know women who are like total supporters of Pulaski, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand why people support her. I totally see why they went after Gates McFadden to come back. Gates wanted to do more Broadway stuff. She wanted to do more stage stuff. So Gates McFadden was traditionally a Broadway person. In fact, a choreographer. Famously, she did the choreography for The Labyrinth. Oh, I'm sorry, Labyrinth. Yes, on the
codpiece and all, eh?
Right. Yes. Well, that's who you think stuffed that thing. No, she did a bunch of stuff where, like, if you watch the DVD or / Blu-ray extras, there are scenes where they show behind-the-scenes stuff where she is choreographing the dances with the puppeteers for a lot of the dance sequences that happen, especially with those like weird ostrich-looking creatures. And yeah, she's in that. Now, that's what she did. That was how she made her money, and she didn't really like how television worked and the scheduling and all that. But when that kind of dried up and she realized the TV was... And everyone hated Kate Pulaski, they went back to her and then gave her some more money, and then she was like, yeah, I'll come back. It's a much more steady work, and she was much more loved by the fan base, so...
Well, she knew that she had to come back so that she could sleep with the same ghost that slept with her mother and her grandmother.
Just watched that episode 2 days ago. Why are more people not upset about this episode? Oh, here's the episode where Beverly fucked a ghost.
Played by the guy who was Dracula in Monster Squad.
That is 100% true. Yes, you're right. And not just a ghost, an alien ghost who fucked every woman in her family.
Yeah.
It's a family affair. apparently, for the Howards.
Truly. That's cock to die for.
I really don't understand how that works at all. And that no one treats it weirdly until, like, kind of the end when Jean-Luc is like, I think you're full of shit. But everyone else is just like, oh, so you're fucking a ghost, huh? Cool, that sounds awesome. You know, like
Nice.
like Deanna comes to her, she's like, oh, you're seeing someone, aren't you? Tell me more details, you know? And it's like, she's fucking a ghost. There's a problem here.
That's the bit where she's like, oh, I see you're getting that good ghost dick, aren't you?
Right,
Tell
exactly.
me about that. Does he have any ghost friends?
Deanna has that whole sit down with her. She's just like, if I didn't know better, I'd say you were seeing someone. And she just smiles at her. She goes, well, now I know you're seeing someone. And then it would be funnier if they switched to, well, I was, but he ghosted me.
They'll do that. More dangling, dirty dangles here. All right. In the first season, I feel like they set up two main storylines. They have lots of different, beginnings of thoughts. But the two they set up, I think, are Wesley as being like your boy to grow up with the Enterprise, and maybe he's important down the road.
Wunderkind, yes.
Yes. Two is there's a conspiracy in Starfleet. Something's going on behind the scenes. And they have at least 2 episodes, if not more, where they're like, hey, what have you seen? Hey, Picard, you seen anything? Shit going down? What do you know? Oh, I can't say anything. We'll talk about it another time, in person. Which ends with the episode Conspiracy, where we find out that there are, I call them mouth aliens.
Okay.
Because it kind of looks like a tongue, and it always reminds me of that Star Trek, the customizable card game one, where like the character has that coming out of his mouth.
Right.
And it's just like, that's the picture in my head constantly. But it's these aliens that are from somewhere far off, and they go in through your mouth, and then they wrap around, like, I don't know, like the bottom of your brain, and they boost your adrenaline. And they've spread out throughout Starfleet, and they're secretly maneuvering things and orchestrating different machinations of the way that people are distributed, and they're killing people. I mean, they have like this big character that they set up that they just do away with right away. And then you find out where the mama alien is, and it's inside this guy who'd visited the Enterprise before. And without asking questions, without further investigation, as real explorers do, both Riker and Picard just murk this thing, and it blows up like scanners.
Which is really funny, because they blow off his entire upper torso.
Yeah. Boom. He just blows up. And then I guess if you kill the head vampire, all the vampires that were made by him just turn back to human. I guess that's what happened with all of these people in Starfleet across the galaxy. But it's my understanding they never go back to this ever again.
Nope.
Correct?
Correct. They never address it ever again. There's
an alien species somewhere out there that has been invading this quadrant at least and putting brain worms essentially all throughout, and they could be out there and coming back, but they never touch on it again. Just seems
that's it.
Weird.
What's the question? Because that's exactly what happens. They never fucking address it ever again.
Is that how it goes? Oh, it is. All right.
No, that's it. Did you ever watch the 3rd season of Picard?
Not yet. I am on the 2nd season of Picard, which so far I am not liking, and it is taking a long time to get through.
It sucks. The only good thing that comes out of the 2nd season of Picard, from what I can remember, just even off the top of my head, is seeing Baltar in a Starfleet uniform. It's the only thing that... Oh, yeah, he shows up. Yeah.
That's something to look forward to, I guess.
It's like a flashback / dream or something, but it was kind of like a tip of the cap that I thought was very, very satisfying.
Is he nervously having sex with a tall blonde?
No, sadly, he plays a counselor. Really ironic.
Like he's counseling, and, it's a back and forth, and he's like, seems to be a little off-put and his mind a little somewhere else. And then when whoever he's counseling leaves the room, camera pans back, and there's a hot blonde, sitting on his shoulder.
Over his shoulder.
Like, reaching his hand under his uniform.
Yeah, but it's Tasha Yar.
Fine with that.
You'd prefer it be her sister.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oof. Yeah. She was good stuff.
That's one thing I was thinking about the other day, because I rewatched TNG too just the other day. I just marathoned the entire thing the other day. Over, of course, a series of weeks, but like...
In a row?
I put it on 8 times speed and then watched the entire thing. No, so then I remember that and I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. Marathoning it, I was shocked at how many times they bring Tasha back as a concept. Because I remember watching it live when it was coming out and you're like, wow, Tasha, that's crazy. There's no way. Because they do Yesterday's Enterprise where Tasha comes back. And then because of that, later on, like more than a season later, they do Sela, her Romulan daughter, spoiler alert, where, you're like, oh, they're bringing that back. Okay, well, Tasha's a thing again. Okay. And then they do All Good Things where they go back, they flash back, and there's Tasha again. And I'm like, I remember it being a really big deal that Tasha shows up and like being a big deal that Tasha like isn't seen again. And then seeing it all at once, you're like, well, Tasha shows up all the fucking time. I mean, I know she doesn't, but it just felt that way. But
yeah,
I mean,
she just keeps popping back.
Yeah. They did kind of redeem her death. And I can't say 100% for certain, but I'm pretty sure that when they kill Tasha off in the episode Skin of Evil, that the idea was we've already written the season and now she wants out. Fuck it, we're going to give her the shittiest death possible.
Yes.
So they do. And then in Yesterday's Enterprise, when Guinan realizes that Tasha shouldn't be there, she goes out of her way to be like, well, she died a meaningless death. And everyone keeps going, yeah, her death sucked. There's no reason for that to happen. That was really awful. Pouring lemon juice into the wound type stuff to Denise Crosby. And I do feel like they eventually redeem it with Yesterday's Enterprise, but it was very clear that it was like, fuck you, Denise Crosby, get the fuck out of here. Well, especially after she put out that documentary Trekkies, where she makes fun of Star Trek fans. It's really cynical and mean-spirited, to the extent where she got such a blowback from it that she put out a sequel that was way more reverent of Star Trek fans. It's almost identical to after Star Trek ended and Nimoy put out that book, I Am Not Spock, and then later on put out that book, I Am Spock.
Like, oh, wait, I forgot where my bread is buttered. No, it's
exactly.
cool. No, things are good. Yeah, I like it.
More of a,
I promise.
Like a less cynical way that Shatner treats things. Like when Shatner went on SNL and did that whole skit making fun of Star Trek fans. But he never backed off from that. Nimoy was like, you know what? I'm an idiot. This was the best thing I ever did. Fuck you. I'm going to go back and say, yeah, I love it. Sorry. Whatever, man. I don't. This happens, though. I mean, it happened to Billy in Battlestar. It happened to
Billy.
Rosie Perez was there when the human terrorist shot Billy in Battlestar Galactica. We all remember where we were.
Like, is that white men can't jump?
Yeah.
I have a lot more to one. I was going to talk about the schism aliens, that they never came back, or the warp speed limitations, where we find out that going warp speed is like destroying the universe.
It's an episode that I feel like is perilous from the start. There are several of those types of episodes in TNG toward the end where it's like, okay, we're going to establish this thing that's super important, that is, in short term, a really interesting, intriguing idea that turns everything on its head. But going forward, how does this work? And if someone treats it well, you could make it work. However, what Star Trek did was they basically addressed it immediately in Voyager, when they just kind of offhand say, yeah, we fixed it. It's fine now.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it might have been even in some of the press release stuff prior to when the show came out. But their whole thing was like, no, we have a new type of warp and it's fine. It doesn't damage fabric space anymore. So everything's cool. And then from then on, they never have to worry about exceeding warp, which is one of the reasons I think Voyager's so fucking cheap. My big thing about Voyager, and I know that people love Voyager, I know everybody has nostalgia for Voyager, which it completely permeates New Trek. But at the same time, half of Voyager was just either unrealized potential, stuff you left on the table, or just hand-wavy bullshit that kind of ruins everything. On paper, we're on the other side of the galaxy, all new species, Prime Directive might be out the fucking window, we don't know, anything could happen. It's all there, and also we're going to run into the Borg at some point. Cool, that sounds awesome. And then all it is just fucking regular Monster of the Week bullshit with almost no long-term repercussions, including one of their only good arcs, which was, I think it was called Hell Year, where they go through this whole thing where, the ship is torn apart, they have to ship back together with Borg technology to keep it running, a bunch of them die, and then at the end of the arc, they're like, we were back in time, we fixed it, it was fine, everything's back to normal. Guys?
Yeah.
What? Nothing ever happens in that show. Complete waste of potential. And is never more completely but completely typified by that. They just go, nah, warp's fine now. Never ask about it again. It's like that in Futurama episode where global warming is really killing everyone on Earth, and so the only thing they can do is a stopgap to like move Earth further away from the sun. And then some guy comes on the voiceover, is just like, well, that's how they solve the problem once and for all. And then someone's like, wait, what about the once and for all?
I won't necessarily disagree with you. I think there are limitations to the format of that type of Star Trek show and the weekly necessity and the ongoing seasons and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
I think
except for
it has good things, but I get your point.
Well, but at the same time, DS9 was moving away from the episodic thing and doing long story arc things and killing it. At the same time, Voyager went back to the episodic thing that had no impact on anything, but DS9 was doing the opposite. They were doing stuff that would like last forever, but treated well. It was like the difference between a well-run show and a show that just didn't want to take chances. I feel like there was a thing within Berman's little cabal where they did Voyager almost to distance themselves from DS9. That's why DS9 is the ultimate middle child. It just happens to be the best. They went off of the because a lot of the people that worked on TNG toward the end, like TNG's peak, and just continued on to DS9. And those people just kept that up. I mean, you know, obviously the first couple seasons they don't really know what they are yet. But when you finally get into the Dominion shit, especially the Dominion War shit, basically when Worf joins the show, it's like, holy shit, this is exactly what we wanted. This is a continuation of the best of DS9, or best of TNG. But Voyager was like, I don't really like the fact that they're changing how TV works, you know, and they just went back to this episodic bullshit that doesn't amount to anything. And I mean, it's one of the reasons that I'm pretty sure, I mean, that and then the really awful sort of initial response, even though I think it has gained purchase over the years as people rewatch it, the real kind of like backlash to Enterprise, because it was Rick Berman and they were continuing the same thing, and during Enterprise Rick Berman finally just gets fired and they bring on a couple of different people, one of which is Chris Black, who ran RoboCop the series initially, by the way.
The good stuff.
The best of all of it. It makes sense that when they released one of the RoboCop the series seasons as a mini movie or whatever, it's called Prime Directive. It kind of makes sense now.
True.
Yeah. Anyway,
doesn't have to be all Star Trek show. That was just a little, you know. Hey, this is what we do. We're a geek explainer podcast, and Skip
and a
is
lot of
maybe not the ultimate, but definitely like, you know, I'd say top 2%, you know, in Star Trek explaining.
I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you, but back when, if you remember, there was that fad where there was like the trivia apps, you know, and they would do like live trivia stuff where you could win money. It was like a year where like you would
vaguely.
Well, it went bankrupt within like, it was very short lived. They had part of it that was Star Trek trivia, and when the thing folded, I was ranked #1 in the world.
Holy shit, that's
undefeated,
nice.
Bitch. Undefeated.
That is fucking nice.
Yeah. But this is our anniversary. We're going to throw a lot of shit at the wall here and see what sticks like a changeling. So what else you got?
On a distant planet, Prince Colwyn is to marry Princess Lyssa, and together they will rule the galaxy. But the evil beast and his army of slayers kidnap Lyssa and take her to his disappearing black fortress. In this land of science and sorcery, he will need his love and the help of the Emerald Seer, the Widow of the Web, the Fire Mares, and the Cyclops Rel.
Okay.
As he pits his determination and the royal repute and his mystical five-pointed glaive to defeat the Lovecraftian beasts. It is Crawl.
As soon as you said Fire Mares, I was like, all right. Yeah.
I did 3 of these.
Okay.
So I did them all
hell
in the
yeah.
Thundar opening. So do you want another one now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. In the distant future, water has become incredibly scarce and so valuable that ice cubes are used as currency. In this dry galaxy, one man, Jason, leads his parched pirates on a quest to steal ice and survive this thirsty existence. While trying to thieve the water from space Templars, he kidnaps the Princess Karina. Eventually joining him, he is saved from castration and lobotomy. Along with his shitty robots, Angelica Houston and Ron Perlman, they will find love, hope, a child, and ideally something to drink as they battle the supreme commander of the Templars, Zorn, and the quest for the mystical Seventh World. They are Ice Pirates! Timed out perfectly.
That's pretty.
Maybe
Shocked
I'll
we've
just-
never covered Ice Pirates.
Yeah. I don't have the timing for this one down, and I don't think it's as good. I could try and do it. Should we just try and do it, just so we have it?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right.
Just
All right.
so we have it.
So we have it. All right. Number 3. In medieval Italy, a young Matthew Broderick, the thief, has escaped prison and is hunted
Okay.
by the Bishop of Aquila. It's a time of magic and romance, with star-crossed lovers put to the test. During the day, Isabeau must live as a hawk, and by night, Navari a wolf. But they struggle to break the satanic curse and reunite as humans. Will their love be strong enough to vanquish this enchantment, incur their revenge, and win the day? We shall only find out in Lady Hawk.
I didn't grow up with Lady Hawk. I didn't watch it till I was an adult.
It's this weird, bizarre, it's this love story, and then there's like this magical MacGuffin that's keeping the people apart, and there's no other magic in the rest of the movie. It's not like Beastmaster, you know? It's just Italy, and people living their lives, and people like searching for power, and they just happen to have one lady who turns into a hawk, another guy who turns into a wolf because of this satanic enchantment, and it's like, okay? I mean,
Yeah,
I guess I get your lover's romantic quandary here, but it doesn't make any sense.
really, that movie is just like star-crossed animorphs. It's not really.
Yeah.
It's not really much of
It really
anything,
is.
but.
Nah, it's fine.
I'd much rather watch Legend than Lady Hawk.
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
rather
Legend.
watch Beastmaster, quite frankly.
I think it has its place. It's lower. I don't think as many people have seen Lady Hawk, which is kind of why I picked it out. And it's such like a bonkers premise on its face.
It's bizarre, but not like crazy bizarre. Just kind of bizarre.
Like-
Beastmaster's crazier a premise, but especially
It
the
is,
second
but it's also like it's set in like a distinctly fantasy world.
one. That is true.
You've got weird hawk people. You've got Rip Torn throwing kids into a ziggurat fire.
That whiskey habit doesn't feed itself. You gotta.
I didn't need another drink. I'll do Beastmaster, I guess.
Yeah, it just sounds like a classic Hollywood thing, like Orson Welles at the end of his life, you know? But the entire career of Rip Torn.
When I'm a transformer, I also like Italian wine in a box.
And frozen peas.
I have another bit.
French
It's
in.
unrelated. Let us open the holy text and let us read the good of the day.
Ah, it's been a long time, old friend.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
In 2009, Steve Guttenberg starred in Heidi for Paws, a live-action retelling of the 1880 classic Heidi, but done with fully articulated mouth dogs in the role.
Excellent.
While
notes.
thought of as quaint, this is actually an example of Gutenberg opening up about his occult knowledge, something that he has been tasked as a sacred keeper of. For all of our most ancient and cherished tales were all originally idealized, constructed, and performed by dogs, and only then passed on to human subjects as to spread joy and knowledge through the universe. That's been your Good of the Day.
No, indeed it has.
Good it up.
My good of the day was going to be, quote, if you put down on a list of jobs, doctor, lawyer, janitor, teacher, or movie star, everyone would pick the movie star. And why? So you could lie around the pool, drink margaritas, and send money to your parents. So that's what I did. Sage wisdom. Sage wisdom.
When in doubt, listen to the Goot.
It seems like there should be a rhyme there. I think you're missing.
There should be, but it's Gutenberg, so that's the way it came.
When in gout. That doesn't even make sense.
Like when in doubt, listen to the Goot.
Oh yes, the famous accent of Steve Gutenberg. Well, he was in High Spirits with Liam Neeson.
Oh, and Liam Neeson was in Kroll.
Whoa, shit, he was. And has apparently one of the biggest dicks in Hollywood.
I don't think I knew that.
According to Angie Dickinson in her biography, she said that Liam Neeson unzipped his pants and an Avion bottle fell out.
Jesus. That seems a little scary, honestly.
Yeah, that's Willem Dafoe level.
David Bowie, codpiece times.
You have to factor in grower versus shower type thing, too.
I think in general we'd say like a lot of people who appear to be well endowed, flaccid. I don't think they tend to be as big of changers, penile anamorphs, as they're called in the wild.
That's what we call penomorphs, yes. It's normally how we refer to them, yeah. I feel like that should be the sequel to Robot Jocks. Maybe that's what the jocks part of Robot Jocks is.
In the future, all politics has become sex, and only through the use of robots shall one nation best the other in the sack.
I have a little bit I thought it'd be kind of fun. I thought we'd just revisit questions sent in by listeners.
Oh, I love our listeners. This should be great.
A lot of these are sort of trivia-oriented. Some of them are opinion-oriented. I think they're sort of testing our knowledge, which I think you and I take as a personal affront, quite frankly. But we're gonna
test my foot
entertain
right up
this
your listener ass. How about that?
Our general disdain for the 12 listeners we have.
I hate you all, truly. You're the scum of the earth and below it.
I'll read them out. If you have the answer or an answer better than what I would come up with, feel free. We'll just sort of split this up here.
Okay, all right.
Of the following, who was not an original Avenger? Captain America,
Okay.
Iron Man, Hulk, or Thor? This comes from Theron Zephyrus of Dayton, Ohio.
Theron. Fucking Theron.
It's always Theron, isn't it? Or
Our
Theon.
choices.
Sometimes Theon's the one that fucks up.
Oh, fucking Theon.
That's those Greyjoys.
Mr. Dickless over there. Okay, so we have Captain America, Thor, the Hulk, and Iron Man.
Captain America,
Which one?
the first Avenger. So which of these is not an Avenger? Jake, I'll give this one to you.
Gotta think back. The olden days,
The halcyon days, the salad days.
Avengers salad. It's tasty.
I don't want to know what that is.
Well, if you want the answer,
It's 42.
it's always 42. Even though Captain America originated decades before the Avengers, he didn't actually show up in the Avengers comics until he was found and unthawed and became a full-fledged member in issue number 4 of the Avengers. No, it was Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, and Wasp and Ant-Man are your inaugural Avengers team members.
Excellent answer, and keep in mind, I did not give him these questions ahead of time. This is how this works, folks. This is what we do, and this is what we know. This is the only way we figured out how to make our base of knowledge relevant.
Let's just talk about it on the internet.
Because everyone loves that. All right, so what is the alter ego of the DC character Victor Sage? And this comes from Dorian Varelos of North Bend, Indiana, which I'm sure is a real place. Do you remember off the top of your head who Victor Sage is?
It is at the tip of my tongue.
If you want, I can give you a clue. He probably will point you in the right direction pretty quickly.
Sage.
That one is a little slightly obscure. Not really obscure, but slightly.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I guess you don't have to answer, but I know that Dorian would appreciate.
I'll plead the fifth if necessary.
Does this character have magical powers?
No.
No. Oh.
If you want, I can give you a clue.
Okay, I'll take a clue.
It is a Charlton character, original. The company that was purchased by DC with an entire line of very specific of characters that would later be adapted into something else.
Victor Sage.
Well, don't look it up.
No, I'm just trying to think. I mean, like, if your Charlton characters, I mean, it's not Blue Beetle, is it?
It is not Blue Beetle. But you're in the same... You're on the right path. You're in the same pantheon.
Another bug-related character?
No,
I know.
No, you're
I
getting
know,
colder.
I know.
Think about the other Charlton characters and what they eventually would be adapted to in a different DC property.
Captain Atom?
It's an interesting guess. No. Captain Atom would eventually become Dr. Manhattan, remember.
Skip, I might need a lifeline.
I don't know what that would entail in this scenario, but...
Here, I'm going to need to make a phone call. Let me see.
How about the...
I'm looking at this Rarvy. Hello? Okay, all right. This is for no money, okay? Do you know the Charlton character who came to the DC Universe that is not Captain Atom or Blue Beetle, whose name is it Victor Savage?
Victor Sage.
Victor
I
Sage.
mean, I wouldn't know, because you're calling me randomly.
Hang up. Put somebody on who actually knows.
Who is this?
Jerry, I need your help. Jail.
I'm in the corner of First and First. I'm at the nexus of the universe. How about this? Famously wears a mask. Full face mask.
Oh, okay. That helps a little bit.
Help a lot, really.
Wilt Chamberlain.
It is Wilt Chamberlain, who's still, according to his, mathematically, if you look at his memoirs and his bombastic boasts of sexual conquests, to this day, though he's been dead for years, is still having sex with women.
He's got to. There's a full face. Question?
It is the Question!
Okay.
Nailed
All
it.
right.
The Question, who of course then is adapted to become Rorschach by Alan Moore in Watchmen.
All right. So maybe a quarter of a point?
Sure, yeah. Since this is an arbitrary system that never agreed to award points in general, how about a new one? So, what material does...
Unobtainium.
We will not talk about Avatar on this podcast, thank you very much. Unless it's Aang. Material does Golden Age Green Lantern's ring have no effect on? I
Now...
forgot a preposition. On what material?
Oh, shit, yeah. I was thinking that, obviously, Green Lantern doesn't work on gold, but not necessarily the material, but the color.
Yellow, yes.
Yes, but that is silver in modern age, although I don't
Which
think
is
that
no
thing
longer in
doesn't work
canon
anymore.
after
Yeah.
Green Lantern Rebirth and all that.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I don't know if I know this, but I am going to go with lead.
That's a good guess, actually. I think you might be confusing that with two different DC characters when it comes to lead. First of all, Superman, who cannot see through lead with his X-ray vision, and Mon-El, the Daxamite, to whom lead is like kryptonite to Kryptonians. And also to human beings, because lead is poisonous. This superhero's weakness is asbestos!
His
No.
superpowers don't work against the bubonic plague.
Being injected with Hep C. Like, no, it's wood.
I knew that.
I knew you knew it.
Oh,
But yep.
God.
Alan Scott, his ring, which is magic based and not based on the actual lantern core, is completely ineffectual when in contact with wood.
Yeah,
Which, I
that's
mean,
why-
I guess nowadays, you know.
Yeah. Whenever he's on a
kind of
porn
a
set,
weakness.
it's like he's, useless.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what cut his career short.
All of these erect penises coming right at him, and he couldn't do anything to stop it. I'm a fluffer as far as these questions and answers come, so...
Oh, man. Alan Wood, Jesus Christ, that would be his porn name. That'd be his porn name. The John Holmes of the Green Lantern Corps. That question, of course, came from Vesper Talion of Mound, Louisiana.
Ooh, that's a good name. Can I add a little something? Since
Please
we were
do.
just talking about porn and comic books, I do have to point out that canonically, there is at least one major superhero who has been involved in porn on a porn set, Superman, with Big Barda.
With Big Barda?
Yes, yeah, that's in, oh man, what Action Comics was it? There was an alien kind of, how would you say it? Not necessarily mind control, but kind of helped massage people into doing what he want. And Big Barda, who
Neurotic
is
Nuru
Mr.
massaged them into doing what you want?
Mr. Miracle's partner, he has her and Superman on a porn set where they're shooting erotic films and pictures.
Oh, is this like a Tom King thing?
No, this is the 80s.
How have I never heard of
Yeah.
this? I read a lot of Superman back then. Wow, okay.
Action Comics 592. Yeah, the villain Sleaze. It is implicated that they are, filming an erotic feature together.
Okay. I'm going to have to go back and review that one by myself in a dark room. That sounds like something Mojo would do or something,
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
like arcade or something. Or Mr.
His name is-
Mixoplexic.
His name is Sleaze, so,
That seems a little on the nose, doesn't it? That seems like an 80s Marvel character more than it does even that. Like Sleez or like multiple Z's.
Yeah. Yeah. His nemesis is what? Adam X.
You
the
mean-
supposed other Lost Summers
Oh,
brother?
it's one of the first things we ever recorded was that we were done with Summers Brothers.
But the
We're
Summers
done with
brothers aren't done with us.
it. It's like new Trek where they just keep adding new siblings to Spock, and you're like, I don't need this. Just stop it.
Just keep them coming.
God. People barely remember Havoc. And now they have to do with Vulcan and another dude? Get the fuck out of here.
It was, yes. Adam was one of the several children genetically engineered from DNA of Emperor Decken and Catherine Summers. Technically related.
So, like, a pseudo-brother.
Yeah.
Kind of a brother.
Yeah, a brother from same mother, but different father.
From the same mother, right. Which
Yeah.
makes you just a brother, I think. Technically.
Cable found Adam at a farm in Iowa and asked him to meet and talk with Cyclops and Havoc in Des
Oh.
Moines. Huh.
Oh, wow, Des Moines. Wow. The bustling metropolis.
While
of
he
Des
was heading
Moines.
to Des Moines, Adam was attacked by Starjammers Hepzibah and Razza Longknife, as you are.
Because they hang out in Iowa.
Yeah, they're just,
The Star Jammers.
they're right off 80 Highway, stupid.
I do appreciate you still have the Kansas City in you, that you said 80 Highway instead of... You can take the person out of Kansas City, but you can't take the Kansas City out of the person.
It's stuff, it's buried deep in there, all right? You're gonna need some pliers.
It should be. Get needle nose pliers in there. The
Whoa.
Starjammers, for people who don't know, the Starjammers are led by Corsair, who is Cyclops' father?
Correct. He became a space pirate.
An ice pirate.
So often do. Well, he wishes.
He's no Spencer for hire, but...
So in case you guys don't know, the Summers family...
Which
at
they don't,
at this
supposedly.
point-
That's why we're telling them.
Yeah. The Summers family, which is Scott and his brother, Alex, who are Cyclops and Havoc, they are flying in a plane with their mother and father, because he's a pilot, I think. And then aliens attack the plane, and it blows up. And Alex and Scott are falling to the ground, but that shock and terror, it triggers at least Cyclops' mutant powers to activate, and he is able to save them from their deaths. They go on to becoming mutants and blah, blah, blah.
Well, they were always mutants, but...
Well, yes, yeah, but their mutant powers are activated, and they go to become X-people with Professor X and, the gifted school and blah, blah, blah. But the parents, who they thought were dead, they were kidnapped, taken to space, taken across the galaxy to a far-off planet, and I believe that the Emperor, took the mother to, be his wife or something of the sort.
Concubine?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not looking this up. This is just what I kind of remember. And the father becomes a space pirate. He knows he has a spaceship, so could he go back and find his long-lost children? He could, but I guess he thinks they're dead because he just decides, I'm gonna just do space pirate stuff instead. As you do.
It's the oldest story, really. Do you think that James Gunn stole some of this for Star-Lord?
I mean, the similarities are definitely there.
The Star-Lord that you see in the MCU is not the Star-Lord from the comics. So I wonder if he just kind of stole some of that or maybe he came out with it whole cloth. I'm not really sure. But, I mean, there's a lot there.
Oh my God. All right. So after I said that, I was like, I should look to make sure that I remember this stuff right. And yes,
Of course.
Catherine Ann Summers, because we definitely need her middle name. Shut the fuck up, Marvel
Absolutely.
people. Just because you're
Is she
a
an assassin?
Summers.
Or a serial killer?
So obviously they were kidnapped. Both Catherine and Chris, who's Corsair, were kidnapped. The two were separated, but Chris managed to escape and looked for Catherine while slaughtering any guards in his way. I don't know how he did that, but whatever. Chris found that Catherine had forcibly been made part of Emperor Deken's harem and was in the middle of being sexually assaulted by Deken. Wanting Chris to suffer for actions against his authority, Deken killed Catherine in front of a helpless Christopher. Unknown to Catherine or her husband at the time, she was pregnant. Emperor Deken ripped the baby from her in front of Chris, and unknown to Chris, incubated and matured the infant into adulthood and sold it into slavery. The child later grew to kill Deken and become Emperor of the Shi'ar Empire.
I mean, that's the kind of family programming you see on Disney.
Oh, sometimes Marvel Comics. I'm like, what are you doing?
You know, this is the Marvel I missed, though. The crazy shit. The like, really adult shit.
It's like what? Like Miss Marvel being sexually assaulted and then the child growing up to then go back in time and sexually assault his mother?
Well, that just sounds more like Greek shit right there. But I was thinking more like...
You know, Space Greeks.
It's crazy that Corsair story happens, and that's during the Comics Code Authority.
Yep. Yeah, good stuff.
That was funny. During the Comics Code Authority era, you were never allowed to criticize capitalism or promote even like labor rights or like collective bargaining or whatever. But you could do it where a guy rapes a woman and then cuts the baby out of her belly, and that's totally cool.
It's
Well, we know
all kosher.
At least we know where their priorities are.
We call that classic X-Men.
Most of which was drawn by John Byrne.
Let's see, who did that episode, that issue, that particular one? Why don't you... Yeah, because I definitely don't want to know who did the comic, assholes. Marvel, you suck.
That's also classic Marvel, by the way.
Who knows? Who knows who did it? I'm pretty sure that it was Oh, here we go. Yep, John Byrne and Chris Claremont. Yep.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
All right, I have one more question
Yes,
here.
another question from the audience.
Since this is in the same vein, this comes from Elon Thelaros
I
of
like that
Lemon
my-
Grove,
my-
California.
Sorry, I like that my knowledge of Superman pornography and Cyclops mother rape at least should help me in my nerd cred as opposed to like getting a couple questions wrong.
Oh, no, it definitely does. I guess that's where we are. This question comes from Elon Thalaros of Lemon Grove, California, a place that you and I have actually visited.
I wasn't paying attention, but go ahead and do what you said.
Which part were you not paying attention to?
Let's wing it. Just say what you were going to say.
Who comprised the original team of the X-Men?
I think canonically, the original team of the X-Men is also the original team of the X Factor when they wanted to go
Yeah.
back to their roots and let the other later X-Men star and do their own thing. This is, of course, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Iceman,
Cheat Crate.
Angel, and Beast.
100%.
Now again,
Beast, who then later would become an Avenger.
yes. Well, Beast, Cyclops. I don't think the other two became an Avenger that I can think of.
Oh,
I'm pretty
did
sure.
Cyclops eventually become an Avenger?
I think Cyclops became an Avenger.
Well, I'm talking about like
now
at
that I'm
least through the
thinking about
70s, 80s, and 90s. Beast was the only one that became an Avenger because he was in the West Coast Avengers. Well, and I think he was actually in. No, he was in West Coast Avengers. Yeah.
Wow, oh man, the things that have happened to all of those two. I mean, Angel became Archangel when you have his wings torn off and replaced by Apocalypse and had his skin turned blue because he was a horseman of the Apocalypse.
One of the great X-Men arcs, the Chris Claremont. That was Claremont, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was Jim Lee. It was like Jim Lee had taken over for John Byrne.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Which then flowed into X Factor, obviously, with other cool stories with Apocalypse and an Archangel.
X Factor, I think, preceded a lot of the Jim Lee stuff, right?
Yes, X
Would have
Factor
to. It would have to.
did. I mean, that was like late 80s for X Factor.
Right. Because Jim Lee brought the original X-Men back. That was kind of the thing.
I'm trying to remember when that...
Yeah, you're right. They had switched over to X Factor because X-Men was the supplement team that appeared in Giant Size X-Men #1.
Well, I mean, at that point, they
Which
brought them all back together. So X Factor people went back to X-Men, because that's like 91. So X Factor been going on a while before then. But it was like Uncanny, it was
No,
like
that's what
Wolverine and
Right.
Storm and...
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that X Factor came out pretty early. The mainstream X-Men team was the supplicant X-Men characters.
Correct. Yeah. X Factor, yeah. Angel didn't become Archangel for a while, but I believe that did happen
Well, it
in
was in the
X
90s.
Factor.
Did it happen in X Factor? Oh,
Yeah, I think it was the late 80s, because Archangel comes back in 88 in X Factor 24.
oh wow.
That's the first appearance of Archangel.
Wow.
Yeah. That's at least 2 members of the original X-Men team became blue, as you do. 2 of the original X-Men team become containers for the Phoenix Force. Obviously, Marvel Girl, who's Jean Grey, she becomes the Phoenix. Die, Reborn happens all the time. Thrown Goblin Queen a bit there in the late 80s into
Also
the 90s.
clones, yeah.
Yep, with Madeline Pryor.
Yeah, Madeline Pryor,
Blah, blah, blah. But in like around 2010, maybe, the Phoenix Force is split up into multiple people with like Namor and Cyclops and other people having the Phoenix Force as part of it. So 2 of them become Phoenix Force. Really, the only one that didn't have like major weird stuff happen, other than maybe a change in his sexuality, is Iceman. Other than he was like a snowman in the original, but became
Right.
iced mostly. I mean, his story gets a little complicated, but never too complicated. Not as complicated as the other 4. He kind of walks the straight and narrow, as the other ones lose their mind or become space gods or
Become
future
evil
assassins or try to take over all of mutantdom as Beast does and later, all kinds of stuff. But it is debatable whether they're the only team or even the
forgot
first
about Dark
team.
Beast.
Yeah, Dark Beast. And then later, just a few years ago, during the Krakoan era, Beast kind of goes a little Dark Beasty, and they have to go back to a previous incarnation of Beast to take care of that Beast. This is in the X-Force series. It's complicated.
Wait, Jake, hold on a second. You're telling me right now that X-Men continuity is complicated?
I know it's going to come as a surprise to all of you, but yes.
Does the Pope shit in the woods?
I haven't seen it. I believe that he did.
I have heard
dealt
tell from on high.
But if they weren't, depending on which retcon we go with, there's also the possibility that Cyclops' brother, the one that was ripped
Which
out
one?
by D'Ken, this is Vulcan,
Okay.
that he had his own X-Men team that might have been concurrent with the original X-Men team, or slightly before, or slightly after. Either way, he had his own team that went to save that X-Men team on Krakoa during one of their early missions. This also led to the formation
I think
of
you're right.
the quote-unquote
Actually, I think
new
that's right.
X-Men. But I believe that team had...
Not the official, quote, new X-Men, not the Grant Morrison new X-Men.
No, like the giant-sized X-Men.
Giant-sized, yeah.
Yes, which was
Number
a
1.
new X-Men team. So
Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Sunspot, or is it Sunfire? Sunfire.
Sunfire. Yes, Sunspot is a new
Colossus.
mutant.
Yeah, you're right. Colossus, Banshee,
Yes? Did you say Nightcrawler?
and then Nightcrawler, and then Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Thunderbird, I'm pretty sure,
Which I
because
thought
he dies
Yeah.
and then his brother, it shows up in X-Force.
Yes, that was, oh man, which, a Proudstar, and then his brother, I think James Proudstar.
Wasn't the first appearance of Cable like New Mutants 98 or
Correct.
something? It was,
Ding,
like,
ding, ding,
really
ding.
close to the end.
Yep.
God, how do we still remember these things?
I believe that was also the first appearance of Deadpool.
I think that is true.
And in fact, I think it was Domino, Deadpool, and Cable all appeared in
Wow.
98. And maybe one of the Eternals
weird
as
how
well. I don't know. Gideon, I think, maybe. But I don't know or care.
Was Gideon an Eternal? No, Gideon's not an
No,
Eternal, is he?
no, an external? What are like those immortal mutants? Aren't they the externals?
Definitely not an Eternal.
Yeah, an external. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of those ones that, like, why did Apocalypse not approach them? Well, because Apocalypse always preys on the weak. That's
Well,
his entire thing.
Technically, he is an external. No, not adjacent to space gods. No, this is a completely different, a whole nother wild concept.
The funny thing is, you and I know so much about comic books. I would be really hard-pressed to name 5 Eternals. And I have seen the movie. I have read the comics. I could maybe name a
Shit.
handful of them.
Okay, all right. Maybe we do it together. All right. You want to do this? All right.
Okay.
5.
Okay.
5
yeah.
Eternals. Okay. All right. Do you want me to
Gilgamesh.
know? All right. Gilgamesh. Yep. Ajax.
Ursi?
Yes. I can't
Icarus.
remember their Icarus. There we go. Icarus. Yes. Okay, that's 4. Can we name a 5th Eternal?
This is so sad.
Athena?
Yeah, the Angelina Jolie character. Correct?
Yeah.
I think. She's in that movie for 5 minutes.
That's 5. That's 5 Eternals. As long as those are all Eternals.
Okay. I pray to God they are, because otherwise we are so fucking lame. Come on. God.
I will say I could only name off the top of my head 2 externals.
Oh, I didn't even remember Gideon being an external, so you've got me beat way more on that one.
So there's
I-
Gideon,
no idea.
which I knew, and Krule, Krule, who was also
Oh,
one.
Wow.
I believe he was like purple skinned or whatever. The other ones are Absalom, Burke, Kandra,
Okay.
Nicodemus, Saul,
Nicodemus?
supposedly Selene, and Apocalypse is what they say. And possibly Cannonball?
Cannonball is immortal, yeah.
So each external was claimed to represent an intangible concept. So like Absalom was despair, and Burke was fortitude, and Gideon was opportunity,
Oh.
and Apocalypse was
Okay.
evolution. But I don't know if Cannonball...
Oh.
If this is stupid. Do you have another question for us?
Yeah, I have a couple more. This is the kind of stupid rabbit hole shit we go down every single time that I usually cut out. Okay, let's simplify this. Who would win in a fight between Longshot and Domino? They both have luck powers.
Can we make it a 3-way with Black Cat?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna...
So the answer is Black Cat. Black Cat's not a mutant, right?
No, I don't remember how she got her luck powers.
Yeah, I don't think she's a mutant at all. Because remember, DC and Marvel wanted to swap her and Catwoman.
Well, she says possesses mutant-like ability, a form of probability and manipulation, or psychokinesis.
Doesn't mean anything. Mutant-like ability isn't the same thing as mutant ability. What are you talking about?
Okay. Initiated by quantum, science-based, or mystical or supernatural means, she is subconsciously generates fields of probability that cause opponents to experience accidents, failures, and mishaps.
So the answer to the question is Black Cat. Okay. Good enough. I mean, and that's before we decided what chaos magic was, or whatever. Even though there is no such thing as chaos magic, according to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we've got that one all nailed down.
I have 2 more, and then we're going to quit it.
Let's hit it and then
Officially,
quit it.
who shot first?
Really? Really? Who shot first? Officially?
Yeah.
Fuck that. I don't care what official is. Okay?
That's because the answer is Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm sorry. So, moving on. Could...
Was he the Greedo on the grassy knoll?
No, he was in the book repository of Mos Eisley.
Oh, what a hive of scum and villain.
It sure was.
AKA
All right,
the
so-
CIA.
Could the Death Star beat a Borg Cube?
Now,
Right?
the way this is set up is it is vehicle versus vehicle in a way. I mean, one is a vehicle, one
Right.
doesn't. One technically moves, but isn't like really meant to move like a vehicle. It kind of slowly.
No, it doesn't. It does move.
It does, but I also wouldn't call it a vehicle. You know what I mean?
Sure.
As
Yeah,
long as
that's
the
why
other
I
one
thought this
is
was an
meant to
interesting
travel
debate.
through space. Now, if we were to like fight at a distance, then
Well, how great a distance? And you know what? I'm not even going to bring Starkiller Base up in this because
Thank you.
I'm not going to. Oh, you're welcome.
I mean, obviously, I think if they were actually to come into contact with each other, the Death Star would easily be overtaken by the Borg. Rarely do they fire at a ship. They are meant to take over said ship and make it their own. That's what Borg do. That's their whole ethos. So they would transport on to the thing and take over the Death Star. It'd be a Borg Star.
In the first appearance of the Borg, they do use that laser thing to carve into the secondary hull of the Enterprise to try and disable it. So you'd figure they'd try that first.
Yeah, I mean, the Borg would win. If the Borg were stuck in space, maybe the Death Star's firepower might outdo it, but their complement of guards, their complement of TIE fighters and TIE bombers and TIE interceptors, all of their fleet could not stack up against the Borg Cube. That's not even taking into that they would match the shielding and the weaponry that they always do against any opponent, or that they would take over the personnel, turning them into Borg, or that the Borg Cube could just move. It would stay out of the firing range or the firing line of the Death Star. So I think this one's pretty lopsided if we're really thinking about it. Now, I think if the Borg Cube is stuck and at a distance and in direct line of sight of the Death Star, maybe it could get blasted away with one big shot before it can, recalibrate its shielding or whatnot. But Borg Cube wins, hands down.
One is essentially a base, like DS9, and the other is a ship. Yeah, I think that is probably the consensus. But the reason I asked it was because they're both massive. And I do think if certain, like you said, like certain conditions existed, I think the Death Star, I think their kyber crystal powered enormous laser would probably carve a fucking hole straight through a Borg ship, even with their shielding. I think it's probably that powerful. But it would take, 20 minutes for it to turn around, target it.
Right. Like the Borg Cube
really
has to be
hope
kind of
that it would
dead
work
in the water,
Yeah, it would already have to have been defeated for them, essentially.
Now, I mean, this gets into what wins in sci-fi land, or sci-fi fantasy land, as it were. A lightsaber versus a Star Trek shield. Would it repel it?
Right, great question. Yeah, obviously we're dealing with different, criteria, because one is fantasy, so they don't really give you real, science-based, things to go off of or whatever. It's just like the question that I always had, could Data wield the Force?
Ooh.
That depends on if you believe in midichlorians or not. If you don't, then obviously not. If you do...
Well, okay.
If you do believe in midichlorians,
if you do believe in midichlorians, then I think he's out. If you believe in the Force being a kind of a spiritual, metaphysical thing, wouldn't it take Data's sentience and will to be at least capable? I don't think it takes biology, but I don't know. And maybe it does take biology.
Could droids wield the Force?
I don't know. I mean, in Star Trek, in Star Wars, obviously they do not give droids much to work with.
The ability to do...
We've already talked in previous episodes about their second-class citizenry, their slavery and whatnot. I would like to think so.
In my fan fiction imaginary thing that I came up with years and years ago, I think based on a conversation we had long before this show ever existed. After First Contact, when Data is in control of his emotion chip, he's able to do all the things that humans can do, but he gets corrupted by the Borg Queen pretty easily. Could the Emperor turn him to the dark side? And if so, would he be able to wield the Force and become a Sith Lord, like Lord Lore or whatever? Would he be, or even Lore? Would Lore be able to do it? How about that? That might be easier. Would Lore be able to wield the dark side of the Force? And then would Data be able to wield the Force?
It's a fascinating question.
Unfortunately, there's literally no way to answer it because one's sci-fi and one's fantasy. So it's fun to speculate, but there are no answers here. Sorry, guys. I would think that, just like you, I grew up, around the same time. We don't believe in midichlorians, so I would like to think that Data would be able to wield the Force. under the right conditions, or anybody from the Star Trek universe would be able to wield the Force. I think Data would be the most likely one to be turned to the dark side because of his trying to, I mean, you've watched a lot of TNG recently, like his whole thing about, like, even in Generations, you know, like being confused by emotions, and then the whole thing in First Contact, the whole being corrupted by the Borg Queen and all that. I feel like that just like screams, you know, Lord Palpatine type shit. So, like, well, the answer is, what era of each are you into? If you're into New Trek, and do you love the prequels, then no. Are you a fan of the original trilogy and most of Star Trek lore? Then maybe. But we'll never know.
Interesting. Love the question.
We'll never... I could beat Sonny Chiba if he was unconscious.
I'd like to
You
see
know what
that.
I mean? Like, nah, I'd probably still lose.
Yeah. Happy
That's
anniversary.
our thing. This is what we do.
This is what we do.
Hey!
This is the freestyling, freewheeling anniversary episode.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is going to be fun to edit.
Yeah. Maybe anniversary episodes? Who says you have to have just one anniversary episode?
I think the definition of it, but yeah, sure, whatever. That's fine.
Hey, we don't play by anybody's rule book, man.
Yeah, we sure
We're
don't.
outside the
That's for
system.
sure. It's the first geek libertarian podcast.
No, let's not do that then.
Woke up on third and thought it hit a triple.
Well, we hope that you've all enjoyed. Please come back and see if we can get to our next big anniversary episode. Perhaps, I don't know, 341? Who knows? Who knows what it'll be next time? But until then, if you wouldn't mind sharing, and subscribing, please rate us 5 Jedi Datas on the podcast app of your choice, ideally Apple Podcasts.
Cool.
The best way to get us heard and seen. We'd greatly appreciate it. Again, we'd like to thank you for coming on this journey with us, having a good time, and we hope you come back next time. We're doing whatever the fuck we feel like, because that's what we do in this pod. But until you have some bad luck of your own, running up against Black Cat in a dark alley, ooh, sounds like my bit of trouble. Skip, what should they do?
Sounds like you might get lucky there. I would like everyone, first of all, to consider the idea that Worf would be a Jedi, but a lot of other Klingons would be Sith. Also, please make sure that you have cleaned up after yourselves to some sort of reasonable degree. Make sure you've paid your tabs, tipped your bartenders, your KJs, podcasters, because Lord knows we could use it. And then make sure you support your local comic shops and retailers. For our anniversary, our episode,
159th.
we would like to say, no matter where you go, there you are. Thank you, and good night.
In the year 1994, from outer space comes a runaway planet hurtling between Earth and the Moon, unleashing cosmic destruction. Human civilization is cast in ruin. 2,000 years. Earth is re-civilized with a strange new world rises from the old. A world of savagery, super science, and sorcery. But one man burst his bonds to fight for justice. With his companions, Ookla the Mock and Princess Ariel, he pits his strength, his courage, and his fabulous sun sword against the forces of evil. He is Thundar the Barbarian.
Please, go away.